All right. Good morning, Sergio and Caroline. How are you doing?
Hi.
Good morning. Good afternoon, even in Dubai time.
Oh, you guys are afternoon. Yeah, we're on the west coast of California. So thank you guys for
Okay.
meeting with us today. We're very excited. My wife is a big fan of the TV show and my daughter.
Oh,
So and excited to meet you guys next month in Dubai.
oh, you're
Oh, yeah,
coming.
coming. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
Can't
there.
wait.
Just bought our
Uh,
tickets 2 days ago. So it'll be great.
No way. I'm excited.
Uh, so like I said, I'm gonna be on the more professional athlete and business side of questioning, and then my wife will be on the housewife of Dubai question.
What advice do you two give for couples that are considering getting into business with each other?
I mean, it's a big challenge, to be honest, and it's been a learning process throughout the last 5 years that we know each other, because we kind of like got into it without really, knowing what we were getting into it. But I think have a clear, vision and a vision where you want to go and have the roles, very,
Try not to
very
step on
clear.
each other's toes.
Yeah.
I would have said, a few years ago, absolutely don't go into business with your husband if you want your marriage. But actually, we work together, we play together, we film together.
Yeah. We literally do everything together.
Yes.
So
He's going away tonight for 3 days. I actually cannot wait.
I'm actually gonna die. So imagine.
I'm going to a concert with the girls, and he's going, and then I'm going to lie in the bed like this, and then watch Housewives because he never allowed me to watch it.
Oh my God. And I mean, it's hard. It's always hard to try to, find a balance between relationship and work and how to manage that.
Yes.
Good.
Do you work
Great.
together?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do. Yes.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm more of the face of our company, but she's more of like the behind the scenes backbone of the
I make
company.
him
So,
look good.
yeah,
I-
it makes me
What-
cut my hair every 3 days.
uh,
One question I have for you, Sergio, is on a professional athlete side, how did you know or when did you know that like, yes, I could become a professional athlete? I have a team behind me, I'm gonna pursue it. And when did you know when to shut it down?
I knew I wanted to shut down when I started to lose the passion for it. When I was in the field and I was actually training with the first team of Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo, all these guys, and I couldn't wait to just get out of the pit because I was more excited of what I was doing on the side than being there. Maybe because I was not playing, maybe because I already been doing it for maybe 7-8 years. But I think having passion on anything you do in life is key, and professional athletes, you really have to eat, breathe, and sleep like what you are doing. You
Mhm.
know, it really affects your whole lifestyle. So I think I lost that passion, and I was like, even though it's a massive decision, and I'm gonna literally say no to a lot of things that could come with it, I took the risk, and I came out the other side, and we are still growing, and I'm very happy I did it. Maybe I could have been now playing in a first team in Spain, in another team, but it was just not my path anymore, and I felt that inside me, and I stick to it.
Okay, great. Thank you. The reason why I ask is we have a son that also
Oh,
he's older now, he's 28. He played
uh,
baseball his whole life. And
okay.
after a couple of injuries from college, he took a fastball to the face and almost cracked his face.
Oh
Oh,
And
wow.
wow.
after that, we live in San Diego and we have a lot of sports agencies and sports athletes and everything here. And he just came home from college and was like, "Dad, I'm done. I'm completely shutting it down. I don't want to pursue a career in baseball anymore. I just don't want to do it."
It's amazing. It's amazing to hear that because that means that you have a clear path of where you want to be, or you want to do. Because a lot of people they try for so many years, and then at the end they end up not doing anything with their life because
Mm.
they don't know anything else. But when you know you want to quit, that's a huge a huge thing. That's it's a great thing.
Great, thank you.
Because even me, for example, when I left Real Madrid, I tried to play soccer back again. I tried literally, I don't know, in like 8 countries on a top level. And for some reason, it never happened. Even when I moved here to Dubai, I was going to play. And there's always been something there. And it was just not my path anymore. And even though I try, if it's not for you, it's just if it's not for you or it's meant for you, it's just not gonna happen.
We've just learned in general, if you have to chase it, let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you chase it until a point, you know. Don't you know, with the first challenge that you get, just throw it out. But
no, if you keep trying and it keeps stopping, something blocks it, then you have to learn when to quit.
And it might come back to you on a different way. So he might be involved in baseball, in 5 years or 2 years on a different way, and he will be happier, what he's doing now.
I don't push my kids into things in the end because, if they're not passionate, you can't make them. Also, a lot of times you want them to follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, for example, my dad was very, very supportive on that way. He said, listen, whatever you want to be, just be, I will be here supporting you. But he told me, like, you can be Cristiano Ronaldo, but you have to get your master's and your degree.
Okay.
He was very clear with that, because he wanted me to have options in life. He wanted me to make something out of myself, and that's why I love sports, but as well,
you did the
schooling and getting a degree and really, like opening your mind on a different level than professional athlete is very important.
Disagreements that you have, how do you guys handle it? I mean,
I win.
No, listen, I understood that Caroline, she's always pushy. So she's gonna push until the end, until literally like she just gets the right thing. So I understood how that works, and I think it's maybe because of the age gap, but I'm so much more easygoing than she is. So it's just about understanding each other, I think.
I think the age gap helps because he kind of just feels that I probably know better in the end, even if he doesn't agree with me. So I get away with more than I would.
Because I'd rather have a peaceful house than having an argument every 2 minutes. Because if you won, you know that. Like literally, you can argue literally for anything there is in the planet when you are with someone spending a lot of time. But it's just so much easier just to, like just let it go her way. And then if I need to change something later on, I will do it. But it's just very different personalities, I think, at the end of the day, like I would love her to be a way the way I want, but it's just not gonna happen.
Caroline, on a global scale, what measures do you take to protect your brand?
I mean, I've made it's funny because in my work life, I'm a luxury brand investor. So say, like, I remember when I was doing these uber high hotel chains and like very luxury places, when housewives came, they didn't specifically really want the brands there, so they didn't want me to film and to finish my contract at the hotel. I had to finish it after filming. Whereas other brands are like, oh, housewives, how amazing, I want to do it. So I'm already in that peculiar stage where, even though I do super high luxury, like, I work with Jacob & Co. and many big high-end brands, it's, housewives sort of opens me up to a bit more sort of, I don't know, I make my brand a bit funnier. I think Sergio and I have now just gone with more than luxury. People really enjoy the funny, the taking the piss.
More, I think the key for us is we make it more relatable.
Yes.
That people, they feel they can just live the experience, so they can be us instead of being just focused on the luxury. We make it more accessible and more relatable to people. You have to still move with the times. So I used to be really ultra high glamorous sort of luxury, and now I've made it more approachable and funny. And even though I'm wearing diamonds and doing all this, we're having a laugh. You have to kind of like flow with it, So, because being on the TV show like Housewives already, that sort of dictates what your brand is and who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
How do you balance your work life and personal life, especially being on Housewives and you're exposed so much of your inside home and your everyday friends? I mean, just keeping your relationship all together and balancing everything. It's
not easy, to be honest. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, during the 4 months that we are filming, because we have 20-25 people in the house every day here. And, it affects everybody, right? The kids are here, the staff is here, Cara and me. So there's just a lot of moving parts.
Everybody wants to have a breakdown, including my housekeeper. So
Everybody,
it's just a
so-
lot more work. So it's very high
But,
octane.
7 to 9 hours a day during 4 months, every day, new outfits, like makeup artist almost lives in the house, the hairstylist as well. So it's just
So that means extra work for everybody.
Yeah.
The housekeeper, the kids, there's just so many people in this house. It's nuts. We don't, like we argue more during then, but it's like a work thing. So we kind of all just sort of everybody just
we
needs
know
to
it's
take a
coming,
beat.
we know it's coming next year, and it's just, we
It's
get ready
like,
for
it's
it.
like war.
Yeah.
We know we're going to we've got to go through this, but that's a terrible analogy. But you know what I mean? It's like a job. It's like, we know that it's coming and it's hardcore boot camp. That's a better analogy today. We know that we have to everybody knows what they have to do, and everybody knows that they're going to be angry and lose their tempers, and we all just take a beat. Everyone has to sort of walk off, and breathe.
And that
And
kind
that
of
goes to
it
everybody.
forgets on me. I forget about her, and we kind of like really roll into it. And when the cameras are here, it's just pure work, and we have that, like very, very clear. But then the rest of the time with the kids, we always try to make time, or either like go to the cinema, water park, taking them in boat trips as we did 2 days ago. So it's just hard because when you're a couple, as you know, you just want to make the most of it, and you are always day to day involved in it, So it's hard to kind of like balance that.
All right, great. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. And I know my wife is excited to meet Caroline actually in person again and speak to her
Yeah.
next month in Dubai. So I know that's where
You
wrapping
guys
it
are
up.
both very more beautiful in person when we saw you guys than on TV. I mean, sometimes you think, oh, TV makes them more pretty, more handsome, but no, in person, you guys.
It's so Caroline.
Thank you. That means meet both. See you in Dubai.
See you soon.
Yes, thank you.